Tax implication.
Youngest of six?
Both of us.
And
How you doing?
welcome back. We are going to continue our conversations with the Deputy Secretary of State about fees for the Secretary of State's office. But we're moving away from OPR today, I think.
Right. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you? Peachy, wonderful.
That's spreadsheets.
For the record, Lauren Hibbert, Deputy Secretary of State, with spreadsheets.
Large fonts. Heavy spreadsheets.
That was what I saw.
You can't come to a party without something to bring. Most.
Yeah.
That's a lot of shit.
So, good morning. Today, talking about corporations fees. I just want to say from the outset, I know the least about corporations fees compared to what I know about the Office of Professional Regulations fees. So bear with me to the extent that you can. Please ask questions. I may have to get back to you if you have more questions that I can't answer. The way that this sheet is set up in front of you is the entity type. We have several entity types. The service or filing that we're doing, what the current Vermont fee is, what the fee median is in our sister states, so New England, what we're proposing the fee be, which could be that it stays the same, in which case it has a little orange on the side on the amount of increase. And if it's not that, then it will have the dollar amount increase and the additional revenue that we think we would generate as a result of that fee shift. So for the assumed business name, we are not proposing to.
Before you jump in, I noticed that you don't have the last time the fee was increased.
That is correct. I believe the last time any fee was increased was in 2015.
Thank you.
But I don't have it by category. I could work on getting that, but I don't have that.
Right, eventually that would be great, but
Okay.
2015 is a great place to start.
Okay. So the assumed business name entity type, the only place where we are recommending that we increase a fee is with the re-registration or renewal. And that is because the median of our sister states is 45 and ours is 40. So we are a little lower. And so we're recommending that we go up to 45. I should have just started a little higher. I apologize. I jumped right into the spreadsheet.
We're so excited.
I know.
Just got sucked right into our excitement.
That's phenomenal. So our corporations fund is in a healthy spot in terms of we are not at a deficit. And typically, as you remember, when I talked about our budget overview a couple of times ago, typically in corporations, we have a portion of our fund that is swept into the general fund. Generally, that is 1.5 or 2 million. We have projected to the administration that we will not have a sweep this year, in large part because we are needing to go out to procurement for a new IT system. And we are not seeking an IT allocation from the general fund to procure our new system. The way that we've done this in the past is we have kept the corporation's funds to cover our IT cost and spend. We've told the administration that that's our intention this year with the fund, but we are looking at our fund projecting into the future. That fund covers a large portion, and this is a recap of my testimony several, maybe 2 weeks ago now. That fund covers a substantial part of our work in elections. That fund covers VASAR, so the Vermont Records and Archives Administration, and the corporation's division, plus the administration of the Secretary of State's office. So we are projecting that fund will have increased demands outside of IT And we are asking for fee increases at this time, just so we keep the fund in a very healthy spot and so that we can prepare for our future, particularly as we're going into an IT storm.
I imagine also sort of in a time, doing this regularly takes some of the edge off of when we don't do it regularly. Representative Anthony?
Just, does that fund also cover OPR IT?
It does not.
Does not, that has a separate, okay, thank
That
you.
has a separate, yes. And yes, Madam Chair, I think doing this regularly would really help us. And what you'll see is the approach here really is to get towards the median of what's happening in our sister states. And I don't believe that there's any significant or shocking adjustment in these spreadsheets. You'll see a lot of 5s and 10s. So. And that's really how it should be if we're monitoring the budgets and adjusting fees regularly, in my opinion. For corporations, the entity type of corporations, we're not proposing adjusting the fee for a statement of resignation from the agent. We are recommending a fee change for an amendment of the Articles of Incorporation. Currently, the fee is $25. The median is $55. We're recommending that the fee go to $35. So here we are below the median, and it would be an adjustment of $10. I do not believe that we get that many of them, but we would like that fee to be adjusted. That is why we don't have an additional revenue projection there.
Representative Andrews?
Sorry to interrupt your flow, but I was just curious, under the FY22 filings column, you've got some purple and some yellow items. Do you want to just tell us what those colors represent?
I do, but I don't know. Let me see if I can figure that out. Possible that someone will send me a message. And let me know. So if Stacy Drinkwine, if you're watching, please let me know what the column colors are in fiscal 2022 filings. And she'll let me know in a minute.
Such magic.
I want someone in my life like that.
We all should have a friend we can call at all times. Yes, so we don't have information on the number of filings. And Stacy, do you know the colors? That's the question. So I'll move on and then I'll come back to you. So the annual report for domestic incorporation for corporations, we are recommending an additional $5. The median filing is 93, so we're well below the median. But this affects a large amount of corporations in the state. So we are recommending a very small shift of $5, and that would generate revenue in the amount of almost $300,000. We are not recommending a change for the annual report for a foreign corporation. Any other document required or permitted is a catch-all phrase, a fee, and we are recommending a $25 increase. Again, we don't use that very often, but we have that authority in the statute. For the application for amended certificate of authority, the median is 73, ours is 25. We're recommending it go up to 35. This is an increase of 10. For the corporation, the application for certificate of authority, we are recommending a shift of $10 there. We're currently at 125. The median is 188. And this would net an additional revenue of $13,000. The certificate of good standing, we're not recommending a shift. The application for certificate of withdrawal, we are recommending a shift. So for the certificate of withdrawal, we're recommending a shift of $5. And the median is 55, the current is 20, and the total net revenue would be 1,700. And I do have an answer on the colors. They're not that significant. They were used by our budget office to know the number of filings. And so we were just using it to where we could make adjustments that would have the most significant impact on our budget.
Thank you.
So I will redact the colors from that column next time I present.
Representative Maslin.
Certificate of good standing, how often do people request one of those? And is it
Having a good report card, is that a good deal?
Yes, so I can tell you that's 4,320, so quite a bit. But not as many as we have corporations.
Okay.
And people are doing it for insurance purposes or for maybe an inspector needs to come in or there's.
Grant
Or grant application, yeah, there's lots of reasons. Application for a registered name of a foreign corporation, we're recommending a $10 increase. Our current fee is $25 and the median is $55. Again, we've only had 4 of these, so we're netting $40 there. Application for renewal of a registered name for a foreign corporation, $10, $25 fee, median is $55, not a large net. Application for reserved name, we're recommending a $5 increase, which would make us the median. Is my pace okay? I'm checking my own pace because we've got a lot of pages.
The glorious case. Oh, Representative Reddy.
Just why, maybe you said this already and it just wasn't sinking in, but why wouldn't we just go to the median? Why not just get this done, generate revenue, and allow you to do your work better?
I appreciate the question. I think that could be a policy decision of the committee. That could be something that I could take back and think about. But what we were trying to do is get us to a place where we felt like the fund was our goal basically was to get our fund net $500,000 more because that's what we think we'll need in the next 2 or 3 years to cover our costs with what we're anticipating our costs will grow to be. And in some cases, the median is significantly higher than what we currently charge. And we were just concerned about that impact on business owners, quite frankly. So we were trying to find the happy median of, I shouldn't have used median, find the happy balance between the median and our current.
And I guess another thing would be it allows you to hold in reserve some fee capacity should something untoward happen and you really have to find a place to generate more revenue, I suppose.
Right. If we went to the median now, then I couldn't ask you to go to the median in 3 years. And additionally, I think if we are looking at these fees on a consistent basis, if something is off skew or not right, then we can ask for that adjustment in 2 or 3 years as well.
So one more thing I want.
Yeah, but I just sort of want context. Fees are different from taxes and that's designed to cover costs, not raise revenue.
Yes. So, all right then.
Funds swept into the general fund at the end of the fiscal year, not this year, but next year. We just don't know. There's a lot of unknowns with our IT spend. So that is our concern, and we're trying to learn from previous IT spends and that they don't always come on budget the way we all want them to. So.
I'm probably going too far here, but if this generates an extra $500,000, then all the fees we were looking at the other day, where we were $2 million and $3 million in the hole with the fees. Are you hoping that this somehow offsets that? No.
No, because
it doesn't cover the cost. So the general fund has to make up the difference between what people should be paying in fees to cover the service that they're getting from government and what they're actually paying.
Just if I could clarify, you're asking specifically now related to the OPR fund? I think that's the open question that I want to continue to explore with you.
Okay.
How do we do this? Do we raise fees knowing that we won't get to the black in many of our funds, or do we talk about an allocation from the general fund on a one-time basis or a recurring basis? That's a huge policy decision that may or may not get resolution this session, but it is on the top of my mind and I'm really anxious to talk about it.
Thanks.
Representative Taylor, did you have
I'm on track today.
These are pretty much occasional or yearly or something like that. Are there any that are, if as you're going through the spreadsheet, can you point out any if they're repeat more than that? The corporation would have to file repeatedly, more than just annually, I guess is what I'm wondering. I'm trying to figure out how much of a hit it is to the corporation. To pay $25 every year or every 5 years isn't too bad, but if you're paying it every week or every customer or something, then it's significant.
Yeah,
But just as we're going through, if there's one
Okay.
that jumps out,
okay, all right. The majority of these fees are paid annually.
okay.
There are some anomalies and I'll do my best to put them on as we go through.
Representative Sims?
What I appreciate about these fees is I feel like a bit like a corporation is getting a service. Like I'm asking you to provide me a certificate that attests that I like have paid all my taxes, or I'm like registering and you're tracking that and providing that information. So I'm really struggling overall with this idea of like fees. I feel like much of what we've talked about in the past is like a public service that is a public good that we all like regulating businesses. I think is something we all benefit from, or having the technology we need for our judiciary system. I think we all benefit from that. And so really struggling with what feel like regressive and sometimes arbitrary fees in order to pay for those things. But I feel pretty good about these ones. I feel like, at least for me, as someone who has benefited from something, like I'm getting a service and I think paying $25 to like have you keep track of my business address.
Right.
You know, there's a service being provided there.
I think I appreciate that statement. I'm glad to hear that you have been served well by our agency. And I think that's absolutely true with corporations, is that we're providing a service to all of our corporation types. And for instance, the certificate of good standing, that's used in a variety of applications. And that is a fee that could be asked for is sort of at the will of the corporation. It's not an annual fee, it's when the corporation needs it. So there was a rush of those. That number is probably a little artificially high. With the PPP loans from the federal government, all the corporations needed certificates of good standing. So, but that's the type of reason why someone would ask for that filing.
Yeah.
Just to follow Representative Sims' observation about the general good. Some of these corporations actually pay fees in the OPR world because their professionals are incorporated. And so in that world, you're not covering the costs. In this world, you are covering the costs. And I guess I'm opening the door more readily to talking about cross-subsidy because at SOS, there's some things that make money activities and there's some that will never make money, as you pointed out. I just wanted corporations cross boundaries, if you will, within SOS.
That is correct. People have multiple contacts with our office, both in professional license or business license and a corporation.
And I guess I'd add to the conversation before we move back to sort of the list of fees and speeding through them. I think there's, a clear public good to having businesses listed and regulated. I think there's both a public good to a profession being regulated and a good to the person being regulated by having their colleagues be regulated. And I know that a lot of the professions that you've brought under your umbrella have actually explicitly requested that of you.
Yes, that is correct.
I remember once trying to bring you a profession to regulate and you're like, I would need a lot of people to say they want that before I pick that up.
Yes. That is true. So, we offer a public good. We offer licensees a public good by regulating a profession because they have, nobody wants to have the bad apples just continue without removal and cast aspersions on their profession on a whole. And so regulation removes the bad apples, keeps everyone to the same or similar standards, and creates some uniformity in the field. How about this, Madam Chair? Would it work for you if I just talked about fees that were more than $5 as we went through, or do you want me to continue the way I was?
Yeah, let's do that. And we can scan along while you're doing that.
So the next one that is over $5 is the articles of domestication. The median is 100, ours is 20. We're recommending that we increase the fee to 50. That would make an increase of 30. The next largest one is the notice of transfer of reserved name. We are recommending that there is a fee implemented for this. There's currently none. That would be an increase of 20, and that is the median. Reinstatement, we're recommending a $15 increase. The statement of conversion, the median is actually 145. The fee is currently 20. We're recommending an increase of 30 to a total of 50. Yeah.
Does other states have a different attitude towards these? Is that why, is that
You bet.
why this is happening?
I think that is true.
Okay.
And yes, I think that is true. I think that's a safe synopsis of what's happening.
Okay. Well, it's either that or they have very inefficient systems that require.
Well, maybe, but I think that some states do use fees a little bit differently in how they're generating revenue. The next piece that's $10 or more is the articles of domestication. That is a $10 increase. The articles of termination, that is a $10 increase. With both of those, with the articles of domestication, the median is 100. With the articles of termination, 55. Notice of withdrawal of reserved name, that would be a $10 increase. That would bring it still under the median, which is 35. The statement of conversion, a $20 increase. That would bring it to 40, which is still under the median, which is 103. We've switched entity type. We switched entity type on that last page. I'm sorry, I should have noticed that. We're now in limited liability partnerships. An amendment for foreign limited LLP, it would be an increase of $10. Our fee is currently 25. That would still keep it under the median, which is 75. The annual report, we're recommending that it be raised $15 to $30. The median is $83. Cancellation of an LLP, a domestic one, and a foreign one, we're both recommending a $20 increase. The fee is currently $5. So we're recommending it go to $25, and the median is 55. For LLP, the statement of denial, we currently charge nothing. We're recommending a $25 increase, which would bring it to $25. The median is 85. Statement of disassociation. Yes. An increase of $20. It's currently 0, and the median is 20. And disillusion, an increase of $25. It's currently $0, and the median is 50. Statement of foreign qualification for the LLP, an increase of $25. That would bring it to 125, and the median is 200. For the statement of qualification for the LLP, we're recommending a $50 increase. It's currently 75, so that would bring it to 125, still under the median of 163. For the limited partnership, the amendment of the foreign limited partnership, an increase of $10, which would bring it to $35, which is less than the median of 75. For cancellation of foreign and domestic limited partnership, an increase from 0 to 25, median is 48. Limited partnership name reservation transfer, that would be an increase of $10, bringing it to 30. The median is now 50. The registration of the foreign limited partnership, an increase of $10. It's currently 125. This would bring it to 135, and the median is 160. The restated certificate of limited partnership, it's currently $20, an increase of $10, bringing it to $30, and it's currently $60. Median of $60. We're not recommending any changes to nonprofits. That was a policy decision, with the exception of the reinstatement for articles of organization, just an increase of $5, bringing it to $30. The median is $55. Trademark assignment, an increase of $5, bringing it to $25. The median is $30. Registration of a trademark is an increase of $10. The median is $55. It would bring the fee to $30, and that's the same for the renewal. UCC, the filing statement, it would be a $25 increase. It's currently $0, and the median is $55. For the initial financing statement, it would be an increase of $20. It's currently $0, and the median is $32. For the manufactured home initial financing statement, an increase of $25. It's currently $0. The median is $68. The transmitting utility, it's currently $0. We're recommending a $30 increase. The median is $96. For the public finance transaction, we're recommending $25. The median is $78. It's currently $0. For the UCC3 financing statement, which please don't ask me what that is. We're recommending a $25 increase. It's currently $0, and the median is $40.
Can you tell us what UCC is generally?
United Uniform
Commercial
Code.
Thank you.
Question on it? For trademark assignments, does that one mean there's only been one in the last year or trademark renewal, there's only been 2 of those?
That is correct. I believe that, I can tell that my friend Stacy is going to help me. I believe that the trademarks don't renew annually, so it may be staggered. And my understanding that assignment is taking a trademark that was with me and giving it. So that's more limited than renewal or registration. And then there's a few more other filings, Uniform Commercial Code. And the only other change that's over $5 is the one that's 10, and the current fee is 25. It would bring it to 35, and now, and the median is 48. And that's the end of my sheet.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And as you can see, the tally here of the revenue that we're anticipating to grow is $561,000.
I don't disagree with any of them.
So you don't disagree with any of them?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. I just didn't quite hear you.
No. Easy peasy, as they say.
I just wanted to go back to the comment you made about these would be sufficient to keep up with IT costs. And I want to distinguish between IT costs as an annual and building a sinking fund for the next refurbishment, replacement. And I don't know if you have a separate mechanism to build the sinking fund for next generation of IT. And I say that because it's kind of easy to go 5 years by 5 years and not anticipate the big hit. And I want to be clear what your meaning of covering is in that respect.
I just want to apologize for my buzzing phone.
Oh.
I could see you were looking. I don't know if you all heard, there was a hoax in the high school, so that I'm confident that that is the follow-up phone call from my school district. So we currently, we are not building a sinking hole for the next generation. We have what we think will cover our next iteration of software. Our current software in the corporation space and the election space is outdated. Both of them are about 10 years old and need to be refreshed. So we have funds for both of those systems to be refreshed. But we know that IT is not a one-time cost. It is a cost, and then there's support and maintenance for an IT system. So we need to have the funds to cover that annual cost of IT. And then I suppose it's hard to imagine right now the system after our next system, but we do have to start thinking about that. But we're just not at that space today.
And you're gonna share with us at some point thoughts about how to think about this more broadly and less of a Band-Aid
Yes.
approach. Great.
Yes, I think there's maybe 3 solutions, and I would love if JFO were with us during that conversation, because they have even bigger brains than I do.
Well, thank you for running us through this today. And just so the committee knows, Becky Wasserman is the drafter on fees. And so she is sort of slowly working her way through this. Looking at the language of a fee bill is, for those of you who have done it before, you know, it's sort of, it's harder, I think, even than reading the budget. It's also not really very, it doesn't make for good reading. It's better to look at it in a spreadsheet. So we probably won't look at language until we get a little further along. And with that, we're actually going to wrap for the morning, and we're going to see everyone at 1:15.
Thank you so much.
So much.